Now, welcome, guys. Oh my gosh. So AI isn't just coming, it's literally here, okay? And the people that are ignoring it, we're seeing a big difference between, though, it's a shift. We're seeing this shift between people that are doing AI and doing social media and all these things and people that aren't. And that's why I wanted to put this together. And guys, like right now, there's 71% of realtors that didn't close any transactions last year. Who knew that? Let me know in the chat if you've heard that. And let me know in the chat too if that's is that a real estimate? Is that a legitimate estimate, right? But I feel like what we're going to go over today is really, really important. And it's how to automate follow-ups, how to automate listing marketing, all without completely lifting a finger, okay? So there's a surprise here at the end that I want you guys to hold for. I've basically gone through and built you guys a bunch of prompts, like a bunch of SOPs, um, everything that you need to know to kind of make sure this stuff that we're going to teach you is working. I've built out for you. Let me keep adding people in. Jackson, if you're on here, if you could add people in for me. You've heard that
Can you
number?
give me the co-host? It's
Oh,
not
yeah,
showing up
sure.
for me.
Yeah, yeah. There you go, buddy. Okay. So at the end, I'm going to give you guys access to a group completely free. By the way, there's nothing for sale today. I know a lot of people nowadays, you get on a workshop and you're like, oh my God, somebody's going to sell me something at the end. There's literally nothing for sale today. Okay. Now, I really want you guys to focus. A lot of you are snowed in, like turn your phones off, really, really focus because what I want you to think about is how would you show up if you guys wrote me a check for $10,000, how would you show up? Would you be completely present? Would you be listening to everything, taking notes? Like, I want you to pretend you're writing me that check for $10,000 and you'll get so much more out of this. Also, guys, I wrote a check at this point for $250,000 to learn what I'm going to teach you. So it's pretty valuable. Now, right now, like I said, AI is here, and there's realtors that are using it, and there's realtors that aren't. I'm seeing it every day on social. I'm seeing some realtors put up B-roll video that's like 6 seconds of them like putting up a sign, right? And a little bit of words on top of it. And that thing is getting like 3,000 views on Instagram. Like the realtors that are using this are separating from the rest of the pack. And I'm actually seeing it happen. So you don't want to resist this. You want to dive in and really understand and not get left behind of what we're going to go over. Because if you get left behind, I really feel like it wasn't the market last year that caused a lot of this loss. It was the difference between how people interact and how people do things. How many of you guys watch your family, your friends all the time, scrolling on social media all the time? That's how everything has changed, right? Everything is changed to social media and AI, and we're going to go over all of that today. So, who is this for? This is for new agents, new realtors. I've actually got a martial arts guy on here, guys. Like, this is for everybody that wants to understand and learn AI and grow their business and scale their business because of it. So it could be, you could be a marketing director, you could be a realtor, you could be a 20, 30-year realtor, you could be a broker owner. All this is for you. This is going to help you guys grow and scale your business. Now, a very mercifully short introduction about me, and mainly, like, why do you even want to listen to me in this thing? Okay. So I started with real estate marketing and doing real estate marketing in 2001, right after 9/11. You guys remember 9/11? I came in the office as a loan officer, and my wife was a realtor at the time, and we started learning all of that back in 2001. I'm currently a technical coach for KMPC Coaching Company, which that just simply means that I teach people that make $1 million in the mortgage industry how to use technology. So one-on-one, I teach them, hey, here's how you set up your CRM. Here's how you set up your Facebook ads. Here's how you set up your online engagement. I teach people to do that in coaching. I've also spent at this point, it's really about $30,000 or $300,000 at this point. I've spent $300,000 to learn AI, marketing, internet marketing, online marketing, everything under the sun that can help you guys. But most importantly, I've been playing around with technology since I was like about 12 years old. Now, I can still remember my dad coming home when I was 12 years old with this gigantic freaking computer, okay? It was like the size of a room. There were two or three guys that had to bring this thing in, and they set it down on my dad's desk. I still remember this like it was yesterday. They set it down on my dad's desk, and I had no idea what this freaking thing was. This is the 80s, guys, okay? I had no idea. What is this? And I still remember my dad looking me in the eyes and saying, Keith, this is the future of everything. Now, that still gives me goosebumps to this day. Okay. And look at what's exactly happened. Was my dad right? Let me know in the chat if you feel like this is exactly, he was right, right? Computers, AI, all of this stuff was the future back then, and it is the future now. So, what we're going to go over today is how to automate your social media, follow ups, listing marketing, all without completely, just without lifting a finger. Okay. Absolutely right. Thank you, Alan. Now, for you guys to understand all of that, you've got to go back with me to understand why I created or why I just dove headfirst into this. December of 2023, man, I went through something very, very brutal. Okay. I woke up right around Christmas. I remember it was Christmas time. Everybody was excited. Everybody's running around like my kids are ready for their presents and everything. And guys, I developed this debilitating abdominal pain in right around Christmas. And guys, it got worse when I ate. Now think about that, okay? It got worse when I ate food, and it was terrifying. I was on Google trying to figure out what the heck was wrong with me. They misdiagnosed me multiple times. It was an absolute terrible thing that I went through, and then it got worse. It it kept going all through 2024. So those of you who are on here that didn't remember talking to me last year at all, there's a reason. I was in constant pain all of the time. Now, I refused to take the drug. Well, I took the drugs they gave me a little while, but it was terrible. So I went the natural pathway, and I had to change everything that I knew about my business because of this. So I had to rethink everything and completely change everything. I had to do it all differently because my tonality was off, guys. I couldn't even talk on the phone. When I would sit there, I'd have to lay like this in order to just talk on the phone because that abdominal pain was so bad. So my tonality was wrong. My relationship suffered. Everything got worse. I had to figure out some of this stuff from an AI perspective and virtual perspective and all these things to keep my business afloat, or poor Jackson on here wouldn't be able to feed his family and he wouldn't even have a job. And that's what I was facing also. It wasn't just me, it was my whole freaking team that I supported. So I had to figure this stuff out. So why is all this important to you? Why does it mean anything to you? Because what you're going through and what everybody went through in 2024 is the same shift that I felt. I couldn't talk on the phone anymore. Let me know in the chat if you guys are having a hard time getting people on the phone. Just say yes or no. Yes or no in the chat. Give me a yes or no. Do people answer the phone anymore? Having a hard time, right, Mac? Text mostly. Yep. Yes, no callbacks. Oh my God, right? Ruby, how do we do our business if we can't talk to people on the phone? It's huge. They don't read text, right? They don't answer, they don't even check voicemails. So why did we adopt AI, right? Why did we set up and adopt AI? Because we absolutely had to. We had to figure out a new way. So the old way wasn't working. We couldn't just call people on the phone anymore because they wouldn't freaking answer the phone. Now, this was interesting because it wasn't just things that were changing at the time. It was also me. I couldn't be on the phone. I couldn't be on the phone because I was in pain so much. So I had to figure out this from both sides. Okay. Yeah, too many calls from telemarketers. We'll go over that in a minute, Mac, too. So too many calls for telemarketers. So guys, what I did was I sat down that whole year of 2024, used ChatGPT to help me do some of this, and I created something called the Circle Referral Method, a new framework for thinking of how do we create relationships when we can't get people to answer the phone? How do we do it? Right? So how do we create relationships when people just won't answer the phone at all? So the C in circle is for connect. Now, we don't necessarily connect like we used to. Okay. So I don't know if you guys are doing this. Let me know in the chat if you are. Are you friending and following your past clients right now on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook? Are you friending and following those people and then building relationships by engaging with them online? Not all of them. Okay, Alan. Okay. So that's the first way that we connect with people online now. We connect with them through social media because that's where they are, guys. They're sitting on social media all day long scrolling. So that's where we connect with them. Now, short form content, long form content, emails, podcasts, all of that stuff is also how we connect with these people. Okay. That's why we do short form. We don't do short form for like just for the heck of it. We do short form to connect with people, right? To connect with people and grow and understand like their needs as you go back and forth on the engagement. Short form content is really, really important for that. Now, after connecting, what do? We invite people to things. So those invitations could be like, you know, uh, a workshop, right? A workshop like you guys are in right now. It could be a challenge to go deeper with that person. It could be a one-on-one meeting, like a discovery call. It could be a uh, dinner out where you're just inviting somebody for dinner out or coffee out or something like that. We invite people to things, and that's how we grow our expertise and they get to trust us. Because who feels like right now, drop this in the chat. Do you feel like everybody is probably the most untrusting that they've ever been? I'm telling you guys, I feel that right now. Let me know in the chat if you feel that. There's not much trust going around. Nobody really believes anything we freaking say, right? So that becomes difficult. I'm telling you guys, I remember 2008, and I don't remember it being this difficult because of exactly what I just told you. There's no trust, right? So we talked, Mac, you said something about all the scammers calling and everything. The relationship is the next part of Circle. And the relationship is got to be different. When we call people, we can no longer do this. Who here has heard, absolutely the media, absolutely, we'll get into that later, Betty, but who here has heard someone call them? As a matter of fact, who's been called this week to be sold something? Let me know in the chat. Just say yes or no. Somebody has called you and sold you something. Absolutely. How do they do it? Here's how that happens. Hey, Cheryl, this is Keith with XYZ Company. How are you doing today? Who feels the sales resistance when I say that right then? Who felt that sales resistance? Just raise your hand. Just raise your hand. Say, I got that. I feel that sales resistance, right? But yet, that's how we were all freaking taught to do our jobs years and years and years ago. Hey, call somebody up, say, hey, how are you doing today, Mac? I just need to go over your listing with you, right? Like that can't be the same anymore because there's so much sales resistance and untrusting, okay? So after relationship, we collaborate. We get together, and guys, realtors are brilliant at this, way better than mortgage people. You guys understand collaboration at a different level. When you go out and you show people houses, you're collaborating with them. You're working with them together to get the common thing that they want, but we've got to do more of that, right? So the collaboration could be a workshop that we get first-time home buyers on a Zoom, or we get move-up buyers on a Zoom, or we get investors, or we get people buying lake houses on a Zoom, and we teach them something specifically, not the boring stuff that's out there now, something specific to them. Then we turn that into a challenge and we go deeper for 3 days or so. And we say, okay, now I'm going to teach you all the intricacies about buying a house. That's the next level of collaborating. When we do that, we lead people to a completely different place, right? So maybe that client is like, hey, Mac kind of talked to me and I wasn't going to sell my house, but now I think I want to sell my house, pay off all my debt, or I want to list my house, yeah, sell my house, pay off all my debt, and then buy a new one. Even though the interest rate is going up, I've got $100,000 worth of debt I can kill. And this is happening all the time, guys. That's leading that person to a new opportunity that they didn't think about. But here's where we all make mistakes. This is where we all screw up, especially the mortgage industry. Let me know in the chat if this has ever happened to you. You give somebody a referral, okay? So it might be a financial planner, a CPA, a loan officer, a contractor. You give them a referral and they do a phenomenal job, okay? They do a great job. They kill it. They knock it out of the park. Everybody's happy, but they don't return the favor. They don't return the favor. Who's had that happen? Who's had that happen where somebody hasn't returned the favor, right? So we don't evolve the relationships that we have and we don't think about that. It's not just about the referral that you're getting, it's about returning the favor and giving back. And that's why I do these things, guys. I don't do these to make money. Most of you know I've put people on Zooms before and sold them stuff for the coaching company and made thousands of dollars. I don't do that for this reason. I do that to help you and to give back because I really, really appreciate the referrals that we're getting. And that's what needs to change with the industry. So how I implemented this in my business is really important. I took Circle and I couldn't freaking talk. So I taught virtual assistants and AI to run that circle over and over again. And that's where the business changed. Now, what's important for you though, is there's 5 roadblocks that keep you from using AI as a realtor. And they're really, really important. The first one is you're just not using AI at all, right? You're just literally not using AI. So why is this important? Well, there's several myths that come along with this, okay? The first myth is that AI is going to completely replace agents, or me, or whatever, right? Like the robots are going to take over, Skynet's coming. The reality is this, and I've seen this happen and play out. AI helps you work smarter and not harder, okay? And we'll go over some specific examples of this, but it helps you work smarter and not harder. ChatGPT helps you create better content and faster. Now, the myths are too, another myth is, oh my God, Keith, this is too complicated. It's too difficult to understand, right? I don't want to do it. The truth is, they're creating these AI tools specifically to make them easy. I'll give you an example of this. Who all's used CapCut? Let me know raise your hand if you use CapCut. Yeah, Alan, you've used CapCut. Okay. When I first saw CapCut, guys, I looked at it from my phone or computer or whatever, and I was like, oh my God, I don't want to edit. I have a team that does that. I have a marketing team that does that. I don't want to do that at all, right? But when I dug in and I actually started uploading things into CapCut, I could see that it's so freaking easy to use. And more importantly, you push one button and it builds out the fancy captions for you just like that. Now, guys, having a virtual assistant company for years, there was a time when it would take us almost an hour to create these same captions because we had to go transcribe them. We had to take the transcription and stick it in the software. We had to match it all up, and we had to make sure that the captions looked good when they were created. That was not 2 years ago. Now, this thing does everything for you. So it's not that it's too complicated. It's actually really easy to use. AI is a time saver and just a game changer for your business. So the question comes, like, are you guys using it? Let me know in the chat what you're using right now. Like, give me some ideas of what you're using, and I'll go through what I think the right list is, okay? So just give me in the chat. Say you're using ChatGPT, are using like CapCut, ChatGPT, okay, CapCut, okay. Keep going, guys. Keep bringing them to me, and I'll go over some of the ones I think you should be using. Canva, no question, guys, phenomenal, free, amazing. that CEO, if you guys ever follow CEOs of these AI companies, oh my gosh, that CEO of Canva is brilliant. She's amazing. Canva, absolutely. CapCut, Jasper, uh, Perplexity. What else do we have in here? Gemini, yeah, Claude, Poe, yes, guys. If you haven't played around with Poe, Poe has all of the AIs built in for you, so you can go in there. It's like it's like a candy store of AI. So you just go play around. It's really cool. There's so many. That's right, Cheryl. There's tons and tons of different AIs and things to choose from. Now, let's talk about what it really does. Like, why do you use it? Lead generation and following up makes it way, way easier to generate leads and follow up. In other words, you can use it to create content for you in the follow-ups. And have you guys ever sat down and built a email campaign? You guys ever done that? Like, raise your hand if you've done that. Ever done that? I've done it. One time about 10 years ago, I sat down and I said, okay, what are my clients like? What do they wake up in bed in the middle of the night? And what are they scared of? That's what I wanted to write about in my email campaigns. And I sat for 6 months, guys, and really thought about this and put together a pre-approval campaign that as soon as they were pre-approved, like these 22 emails went out to really dive into their psyche. Guess what? ChatGPT does that in like 30 seconds now. 30 seconds. Okay. So this stuff is really, really amazing. Now, automating social media content. When I first started doing social media content, and many of us, I had a social media coach, and I remember she was just like, Keith, just jump on screen and start talking. Just jump on screen and start talking, and you'll figure it out. I'm like, no, I'm going to sound like a freaking idiot if I do that, right? If I come on screen and I start talking, I'm just going to sound like an idiot. But now, guys, you could use ChatGPT to build out all of your scripts individually, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that in a minute. But you can use ChatGPT to build out all your scripts. Let's say you want to build 10 scripts for the following week. You use Chat to build the scripts. Then you take your phone, you use a program like Captions or something, you upload it into the app, and you record the script in Captions. And get this, you can read the damn script. You can literally sit there and read the script. You know why? It changes your eyes. Your eyes don't look like they're roaming back and forth. The AI will change your eye to where it's direct eye contact and nobody can tell anymore. It's crazy. How much time would that save? Let me know in the chat if that would save you guys a lot of time right there. Just literally reading a script off of your phone, but your eye contact is there. It's a game changer. But then you take that when you're done and you export that, and you take that video and you upload it to a U video, and it slims you. Like, it makes you slimmer, and it takes your eye color and changes it and makes your eyes brighter and your teeth whiter. All just like that. Boom. All just like that. Then you take that footage, you upload it into CapCut. CapCut now puts the B-roll in, the music in, the captions with one button, all done. You export it, and then you're ready to upload to the social media profiles. But here's the thing. In the past, what did we have to do? We had to sit down on our phones and like, okay, I'm going to type up, my caption, and I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to send it out. I'm going to send my caption out. Maybe it's going to take me 30, 45 minutes. Guys, with things like Metricool, you can literally take and upload those captions to all 11 platforms and send them out at the same time, at the best time that they go out with the best engagement. And you can use ChatGPT to create all of the captions done for you completely to send them out. So what's roadblock number 2? First of all, has this been helpful, guys? Raise your hand if this has been helpful. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Alan. Yeah. Okay, roadblock number 2, which is really, really freaking important, okay? You're not using AI to generate your own prompts. So you're in other words, somebody's been tried to sold a prompts. Like somebody's like, okay, you need to buy these 275 prompts for $50. Everybody's gone through that, right? But these prompts are just basic. These aren't your prompts. They don't have your information in them, your tone, your style, all of that stuff, and they're worthless because you can build them yourselves. So crafting the perfect prompt is really the thing you want to seek to do. Right now, there are prompt engineers that are being paid $200,000 to $300,000, and all they do is engineer prompts. I was like, my son was like, "What should I do for the future?" I'm like, "Freaking be a prompt engineer, like right now." Crafting that perfect prompt is the secret, not buying prompts. So what is the formula for realtors, right? What is the formula for realtors? Well, you want to feed ChatGPT or the AI as much about you as you possibly can. The area that you're seeking to work in, the compliance, the tone, the style, all those things. You want to feed that into ChatGPT as much as possible. And you can use AI to create listing descriptions that are just unbelievable. Okay. But you got to put a little bit of back and forth in it. You've got to actually put some time into it and some thought, and it'll do the same thing with marketing copy as well. So, what's some best practices for creating prompts? The first thing is you want to teach these prompts as much as possible. If you guys take a course, order that course or transcribe that course and upload the transcription to ChatGPT. So let's say you take a course on how to create really good content in real estate, right? You take a course on that. You can order that or transcribe that and upload the whole thing to ChatGPT, and it will start writing like that immediately. PDFs you have laying around that you can upload to it and then talk to it, take a lot of time. It's almost like an assistant. It's like a virtual assistant or assistant. You're going back and forth with ChatGPT all the time to build a better and better prompt. Okay. Now, and by the way, too, before we move on, who feels like they're pretty good at prompting? Because at the end, we're going to actually do some prompts and I'm going to help you guys out with that. But who feels like you're actually pretty good at prompting? Put that in the chat. Let me know if you feel like you're pretty good at prompting. Okay, Mac, you do that? Good. Okay. All right, come on. I want you guys to play out. I get to sit here all day. Okay. Okay. So you do it. You do it on Poe. Okay. It is scary. All right. Okay. So we'll get to that. I'll actually walk you through an entire exercise. Now, roadblock number 3 is you're not storing the information from AI into an asset library, into your own asset library. So why do you need a prompt library? When we're inside of these AI systems like Claude or like ChatGPT or whatever, you guys ever realize like they get so they just get unorganized? Like they're just unorganized, right? Because you're going back and forth so much. What you want to do is pull the gold out of ChatGPT and put it somewhere else to save it. So you want to start categorizing that and cataloging that information somewhere else. So if I'm doing a newsletter, a lot of you guys are on my newsletter. Thank you if you've read my goofy ass newsletter. But if I'm doing a newsletter, I'm going to go back and forth and I'm going to give it the tone from Cody Sanchez and I'm going to ask for metaphors and all this other stuff. And then I'm going to pull that information out and I'm going to put it into Google Docs. Okay. So how do we organize these for the best prompts? You really want to use something like Google Docs or Notion or even Word if you don't use Google Docs, just something you can put these in. And here's a little pro tip too. Who uses text replacement on your phone? Let me know if you use text replacement on your phone at all. So text replacement, guys, is really amazing. I use this for a lot of the stuff that I do. I've got scripts that go out to clients through text replacement, but now you can put prompts in there too. So you can actually take that prompt and you can put it in the text replacement and you can put it in your phone. And let's say you've got to go to a listing appointment and you want the prompt in ChatGPT to tell you what to do. You would take the prompt in the text replacement, fire it into ChatGPT, give it a little bit more context, and boom, it's going to spit you out exactly what to say in the listing presentation. Okay. So that's that's so helpful when you're thinking about that. So the prompts are really important, that not just you buy prompts, but you actually start learning how to create those prompts yourself. Okay. Now, roadblock number 4 is, oh my God, and I see so many agents do this right now, okay, is they just trust what AI gives them. Okay. So in other words, they pull what's out of ChatGPT directly and they post it somewhere. Or guys, have you seen this on listings? Have you seen this on listings right now? Like where they just don't make sense. Some of the listing descriptions are like, what? Like, why did they say that? That doesn't make sense. Like, that's what they're doing. They're using AI and they're not really catering it and they're just posting it. So that's happening a lot. Now, what is bad AI? Oh my God. Bad AI, guys, is if you ask Siri something, Siri's going to give you just watered down basic AI back. Okay. Alexa, same thing. ChatGPT without any customizations we've talked about, same thing. You're just going to get watered down basic stuff that doesn't make any sense. But when you start actually customizing those responses, when you say, I want this to be 10% Rachel Peterson, Cheryl, you know who that is. She's amazing and a great writer and everything. Or anybody that you can say, and you could say, I want it to be 90% me, because if you can upload all your own information into it and give it your voice, then guys, let's go a step further. You want to say, I want you to add some metaphors to this, right? Now, metaphors explain to the person in easy language what that is, what the thing that you're explaining is. And this is so helpful in real estate. And then maybe add some dry humor, add a few pieces of dry humor to it. And then all of a sudden, you get this amazing information that comes back that prompt gives you really good stuff. Okay. Now, the last roadblock is not having an AI tech stack like you have your normal tech stack. Now, when I say normal tech stack, here's what I mean. I just mean the technology that you use on a daily basis, right? So you all have pretty much, let me know, does everybody have an IDX? Raise your hand if you have an IDX. By an IDX is something for people to search for homes on. Do you have that? Yes or no? Yeah. Okay, most of you do. If you have an IDX, do you have a CRM? Okay. All right. So CRM, IDX, texting platform, email platform, these are all your tech stacks, right? We can go deeper, property radar, listings to leads, Boomtown, like we can go as deep as we possibly want, but these are your tech stacks. This is what you use technology wise to make more money. Okay. Now you can do the same thing with AI and it's cheaper. It's completely cheaper. It's way cheaper than what you were doing before. So here's free versus paid. And we'll go deeper in this. And by the way, in the group that I'm going to give you guys at the end, every time something new comes out, I review it and put in there why you should or shouldn't use it, if it's free and what the cost is. So you guys don't have to be out there like searching around and go, oh, should I use this or should I use that? I put all that in the group for you. So what are some free mechanisms here? Okay. So first of all, ChatGPT 3.5 completely free. You could use it right now. Does it cost you anything? CapCut has a free version, which is absolutely amazing. Canva, free version. Metricool, that program that I told you sends out all the different captions and your videos and texts and emails and everything on all the different social platforms. There's 11 of them. That's free as well. So those are the free versions. We've also got paid versions. So now let's think about why you would use free and paid. If you're on a budget, right? If you're on a budget, free is the way to go. But if you want to scale your business and you want to really grow, all of the systems are better when you pay them the small amount of money. And it's usually like, I think it's 18, 20 bucks, something like that for most of these. Like ChatGPT is $20. Synthesia, I think, is $20 or $30. 11 Labs is I think it's $11 or $20 or something like that. And all of these systems will help you scale and grow your business. Now, what do? 11 Labs actually duplicates your voice and allows you to put your voice on content, and you don't even have to be there at all. Okay. Metricool, that one that sends out all the different uh, captions and videos and sends it to all the different social media outlets, and it tells you the exact best time to send it based on engagement. Um, Photoshop, Canva's now coming out. The paid version of Canva is now mixing with AI and creating some absolutely amazing stuff. Okay. But ChatGPT, guys, is just a must. Okay. It's just a must right now. You've got to have it. Um, Even if it's the free version, that's fine. But get in there and I would say just start working with it and learning it and understanding it all the time. Now, CRMs. Okay, the best CRM, people say the best CRM is the CRM that you use, right? I don't necessarily agree with that. And I'll tell you why. Because CRMs are changing dramatically fast. Who in here, let me know the CRM in the chat that you guys use. Let me know the CRM that you use right now. Is it Boomtown? Is it like Follow Up Boss? Is it what are the CRMs that you guys use? Mac, what are you using? Okay. Constant Contact, Keller Williams Command. Okay. Keep them coming, guys. I want to know all of them. KB Core. Okay. We bought a sync platform. Yeah. We bought a sync platform, Vanessa, gosh, now 2 years ago. They charge us $995 for that sync platform. And I'm going to tell you guys, it doesn't do a lot. Okay. The AI that's been put into it is basic. It's, you know how I told you like that AI that you ask Alexa of, that AI is very basic. That's the same type that's coming out of Sync right now. So when the client says something, it sends with this basic information back. That doesn't have my tone, my voice. It doesn't have any of that stuff built into it. But what's happening is CRMs are now merging with AI, and things like High Level, which is just a gigantic CRM, has its own AI built in, and you can connect it with other IDXs for search. Okay. So you can basically now, and I think in the future, you're going to see these costs from $900 come down to like $300 because of AI. I was talking to the Sync guy the other day, Vanessa, and I was like, you guys are charging us $995, and I can sit down and build out exactly what you're doing for like $300 now. All I need is High Level and an IDX to plug into High Level, and I need to connect them. And I was like, why should I keep paying you $900? And he had no freaking answer for me at all. So you guys are paying a lot of money for a lot of systems that are going to change dramatically. Who feels that? Who understands that? Your costs are going to come down because of AI. And that's another reason for you to adopt AI. Now, also, creating weekly social media content has become a lot easier. Oh my gosh. Like now, you can basically say, okay, let's say on a Saturday, you want to script out 20 different things on ChatGPT. And by the way, there's prompts. There's a super prompt in here for you to do that I'm going to give you guys in a few minutes. But you want to script out, say, 20 things on ChatGPT, and you can now sit and bang out those videos on captions or Descript or whatever. And then you can even just like pause and move around so it's not boring, right? So you build out these videos, you build out the first you do the scripts, then you do the videos, then you just send them to an editor or edit them yourself in CapCut. You could legitimately have 20 pieces of content ready to go the next week. You could sit down on Sunday and open up Metricool and fire them out at the best time that chat tells you to do it. And now we're seeing like it is different times. TikTok needs to go out at night. Instagram needs to go out at 2 o'clock. I put if you guys saw this, I put this stupid Instagram post up with this dude was like driving in a car and he jumps out the window of the car, or jumps out the door of the car. He opens up the door and he jumps out the car. And it says at the top, POV, 10-year-old YouTube kid is making millions off of unboxing toys, and I'm busting my ass to create new real estate transactions, right? It was just funny. And it got like 1,800 views, and it was 6 seconds long. And all I did was grab information off of social and recreate it in CapCut and then stick it in Metricool and fire it out at the right time, which was, I think, 2:30 on I think it was a Monday or something, or yeah, it was a Monday. I fired it out at 2:30, so it got really good engagement. But that's the difference now with AI. It's letting you guys create social media content way, way easier. Also, it's personalizing your emails and your texts way better. We talked about creating campaigns, but it's way deeper than that. So let's say you wanted to create a campaign specifically for when an inspection comes back, okay? To give them information about the inspection. Maybe you got a video in there, which once again, you just did with freaking Descript. And you've got a video in there and you've got all the text of what's going on with the inspection. You can load all that into ChatGPT and it'll build it all out for you. Then you just stick it in your CRM, and you can do that with email and text. Guys, I can't tell you what a game changer this is, because the more campaigns that we create in our CRMs, the better that we're going to do, because we're automating ourselves all the time. Okay. Let me know in the chat, who has created a campaign in a CRM? Like, have you created a campaign for anything? For like, okay, you know, I'm ready to list my house. Is there a campaign for that? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, good. Okay. If not, it's way, way easier to do. And this is huge. I've got campaigns for every single stage of my business. Okay. And I've done it for realtors also. So I've got a campaign for every single stage. You're cleaning credit. Here's like a 6 month campaign already built out. You're pre-approved. Here's a campaign. You're pre-qualified, but you haven't sent in your documents in. Here's a campaign. You're like, all of that stuff has been built out, and I use ChatGPT to do it, and it's faster. Yes, on command, we have campaigns for sending out monthly emails with recent sales. And that's cool. Have you built one yourself, though, in your voice, right? So a lot of these things that we get in these systems, Betty, are like canned. Yeah, they're canned. How much more would it work if it was your voice, right? If it was your voice and you said, hey, this is what I want you to do. It just takes it to a different level. Okay. Okay. Now, let me guys ask you a question. Has this been helpful? Let me know in the chat. Has this been helpful? Yes or no? Good. Thank you, Jessica. Andrea, yes. Ruby, yes. Mind is blown. That makes me feel good. Thanks, Ellen. All right. So much. Yes. Okay. Cool. Yes, especially being entry level. And Jimmy, let me know why you feel like you're entry level. Okay. Because I mean, everybody's kind of at the same point with AI right now. I think that's what's really cool. We're all at this beginning stage of AI. Guys, I'm not kidding you when I say I didn't want to do content, especially while I was sick for 2024. The last thing I wanted to do is turn that camera on and do content. But now, like, thinking about how easy it really is, like, okay, all I got to do is really read this thing. Like, okay, so I did one the other day about bank statements. And here's what I did. And this is another way to do this. I just took my little mic here and I just recorded into Adobe Podcast. Write this down, Adobe Podcast. I recorded into Adobe Podcast a script. I sent it off to my team. My team adds B-roll to it in CapCut and music. And now it's a complete video done. I didn't have to freaking even go in camera. So yeah, it's Adobe Podcast. And what's interesting about Adobe Podcast, Cheryl, is it takes your voice, no matter how it sounds, it makes it sound crystal clear like you're in a studio. That's what I love about Adobe Podcast as well. So I want to go over something. Like I said, there's absolutely nothing for sale. Everything I do is just to help you guys. But I want to go over something that I've been putting together and see if it's something that you guys would even be interested in. We're not ready to do this right now, but I want to see if there's any interest in this. If I created an 8-week challenge where we went deeper, okay? So we actually said, let's combine all the stuff that we did like 2 years ago on these things, like business planning and making your calls. And that's another thing. When you do your call hour is no longer just picking up the phone, right? Your call hour is opening up your CRM, opening up social media, and friending and following people that you're wanting to engage with, and then maybe calling them. It's wishing people a happy birthday on social media through a video or something like that. Our call hours, our power hours that we've all been taught are completely different. Okay. So let me know if you guys would be interested in this. Completely free. This wouldn't cost anything. I would build out this 8-week challenge for you, all the curriculum, and we would most likely meet once a week for an hour, and we're going to go deep. Okay. So what are some of the benefits? Thank you, Ruby. What are some of the benefits? The benefits are this. I'm going to teach you AI from a level that I don't think most people know. I've bought almost every freaking course that's come out from AI so far. Okay. If it's out there, I pretty much know how to do it. I'm also subscribed to all the different AI people. So if something new comes out, like Napkin AI or Blovato or whatever, I know immediately and I can give you that information, show you how to make money with it, just like that. Okay. So that's one of the benefits. Also, I've done this before. I've actually taken people from very low numbers. I did this with a guy in Vegas to running their own branches to like $100 million. I've done this before. I feel pretty confident whoever does this will probably double their income. I'm not bullshitting you at all either. I've done this multiple times with people. So if you did this, your income's going to go up, but you've got to commit to being there once an hour a week. And there's going to be a little bit of homework too, but you're going to have to commit there. Now, it's hands-on strategies also. So we're not talking about theory. We're talking about actually open up your laptop and saying, okay, here's CapCut. I got this video ready to go. I need to stick it in here. I need to edit it. I need to add the captions. I need to do all that stuff. It would be hands-on strategies also. And we're going to be working on real-world implementation. This isn't, like I said, this isn't theory. We're going to take something like you got a listing. Okay, let's make a carousel out of that listing right now in class. Let's do in Canva and let's take 5 slides and let's upload it into an ad platform. And then let's run that for $129 and put like 5,000 views on it. That's the type of stuff we're going to do. Real shit. Okay. Real stuff that we can legitimately do together. Or we're going to take and say, okay, we're going to build a workshop together and you're going to invite people to the workshop. They're going to show up. You're going to figure out how to get other people to pay for this. And they're going to show up and then they're going to raise their hand and give you an application. And it's all going to be digitally done online. Okay. That type of thing. Plus, you're going to have exclusive access to all my stuff, everything I have, whatever we create, you'll have access to. If you guys want to do this, and I don't know if there's even any need for this or if anybody wants to do it, that's why I'm just kind of throwing it out there. Type AI challenge in the chat if this is something you would want to do. So Jessica, I think you're in. Who else is in? Or just type in AI challenge. Okay. So Betty, Lisa, Alan, Jimmy. Okay. Pretty much everybody. Okay, cool. And let me know. I really think it's going to have to be done in person, most likely. It's going to have to be done in person. But I'm trying to figure this out. I'll get with you guys on that a little bit later. So now I want to do a Q&A real quick, and then we'll do the hands-on exercise real quick too. And I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the link for the group too. Jackson, do you have that link like handy? Okay.
I
Hold
can
on,
try
let me
to
get
find it.
I'll get it. No worries.
Okay.
Now, open it up, and I'm going to go around the room because that's just what I do. That's what I do in my coaching. because you guys are all clam up if I don't go around the room. And I want to know the biggest issue you have with implementing this stuff and starting it. Okay. So I'm gonna start with you, Mac. Open up and just tell me, like, what's the biggest issue that you're facing right now, either with AI or technology or whatever. And guys, I'm gonna put in the chat right now the group. If you're not in this group, this is where we've got all the AI prompts. I've got SOPs in here, all kinds of really cool stuff to help you guys out. It's free, completely free. Um, I just put it in there now. Okay. And by the way, too, this is what it looks like when you come in here. If you guys are any of you with us for 2 years ago, before I got sick, we actually did some pretty amazing classes. Back then, I think we had like 90, 100 people on or so, and we'll get back to that. But we did some really good classes. These are more basic classes like building your foundation, SOI engagement, lead generate. That SOI engagement is a freaking really good class too. That one is really good. Lead conversion, mastering ChatGPT. This was the beginning of ChatGPT. 5 core skills. That's based on Hermosi's principles. These are really, really good courses too. And when you go into that classroom, you'll see I've got an offer class in here, but these are the really good stuff right here. Guys, when you're building your business or you're doing anything, you're going to create an SOP for whatever you do. So if you start a podcast, there's an SOP for it. And by SOP, I mean just a checklist. So how do you do a podcast? All of this is sitting in there ready for you, like right now. Okay. And more importantly, we've got the prompts that I've built. So every time I build a prompt, I stick it inside of this system. Okay. So right here, that prompt that I was telling you about that builds the content every day, it's right here. Look at that. That's a badass prompt. That's a big prompt. You can see it's got all of them. TikTok, Twitter, Facebook Reels, all of that's in here. So that's in here for you guys as well. Um, so Miguel, tell me what your biggest challenge is right now that you're dealing with all this. Is he still there? Did I lose you? Okay. Alan, open up and tell me what your biggest challenge is with dealing with all this.
I typed mine out, but just
Okay.
not knowing exactly where to start,
Okay.
which apps, platforms, and then I find myself just kind of going in circles. So from a time perspective, I think I'm not doing things efficiently, and then what I should be spending my money on.
Yeah.
If there's a thousand, things out there, I don't need to buy 1,000 of them. What is it that I need to buy, and what's going to work best for my business?
Yeah, and I think what we'll do when I build this curriculum, I'm going to build it kind of from the ground up, right? And we really need to start with business planning. So why would we do all this? Why would we do all this without building a business plan first, right? So if we know everything's changed and we have to do things differently, in other words, we have to take money from Zillow and put it into online workshops through Meta or through Google advertising, well, then we're going to have to build a business plan to do that. You're going to have to build a business plan, a media plan, a budgeting plan, all of that stuff. So what I would do in the challenge is I would start with that. I would start with a goal setting and the business planning, and then we would move on from there. Okay. Miguel, what's the biggest thing that you're dealing with right now? And I know, so Miguel, by the way, is in California. He's just started a dance studio, which is really freaking cool. And tell me I know you're going through all kinds of challenges opening up the dance studio.
Yes, so for me it's more like the order of prioritization. Like
Yeah.
because there's so many things going on where like this is like a big thing, like the amount of attention we've gotten on social media for it, and then I started thinking like wow, I guess when I open the business I might have to go with because at first I didn't know if I was going to use a CRM because I didn't know how like interested people were, but
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like there's a lot of interest because my sister's very popular in the dance community,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm teaching in Bora Bora right now for a week, completely paid. And
Cool.
so like
I'm
there's a
jealous
lot of
because it's snowing here, dude. I'm jealous.
But yeah, it's just more like the order of like prioritization of what I need to do first, and like I guess when I get all these like, incoming clients, like what I should dedicate more time towards, or what I should just like delegate to somebody else.
Okay. And I think, knowing that, I would focus on prioritization of what to do first, right? Like I said, we got to build the plan first. Then we start working on the daily activities because, I mean, how many of us are just kind of sitting now and waiting for the phone to ring? Let's just be honest, right? Like that's a lot of us right now. Well, we don't need to be doing that. We need to be doing the activities that are going to bring the business in, like friending, following, building relationships online. That's kind of what we would dive into to kind of help you with that. And then how to put it in order. And Andrea, I know your mic's not working, so I'll answer your direct message. You're new to resale. You worked for a builder for 2 years. You're new to AI mostly. It's intimidating. I get that. So, what we would do inside of the challenge to help you with that is specific examples to do, right? So it wouldn't be like theory. It would be like, okay, guys, I found this really funny video. We're going to take it, upload it into CapCut, free version, edit it a little bit, and then post it on all the different social medias. And I would show you guys how to do that right then. Boom. So hopefully it would make it less intimidating because we would do it as we were in the challenge together. It would be like all of us doing the same thing at one time. And once you do that, and once you kind of get that under your belt, you'll feel so much better. Like for instance, yesterday, guys, for the first time ever, I sent it 2 pieces of content on multiple platforms. I've never done that before. After I got it done, I was like, man, that wasn't that difficult. It's pretty cool, right? I did 2 pieces of content to 11 different platforms. So that means 22 pieces of content went out yesterday in one day. I've never done that before. So, but when I did it, I was like, damn, that's cool. How do I do it again? Like that's what I think this momentum will build as we're learning that stuff. Okay. So let's go on to what time we got? We got 3 minutes. So Vanessa, I'm going to ask you, I know you're working for the builder as well. What is the biggest thing holding you up? And I know we're working on the workshops together and stuff, but what's the biggest thing holding you up?
Really getting ahead of AI and making my business work for me instead of me working for it. Figuring out the content creation, how to post it, and how to make the most of my time.
Strong. Okay. That's a great answer. And that would be, so you're a little bit more advanced, right? But you need to go through the beginning first. I know
Hmm.
you're already doing content. You need, when we build the plan, you would build the plan with what I would probably do, guys, is give you the SOPs, right? Let's look through the SOPs and figure out which ones need to be implemented and which ones don't. And then say, okay, well, if I'm going to do content every day, I've got to have a slot to do that content in. What I've noticed is adding content is you can't just go out there and do content like everybody tells you you can. You've got to have a slot of that content that you completely commit to. For me, it was a newsletter. I told you this, Vanessa, but for me, it was a newsletter first because I'm a pretty decent writer. So I said, okay, no matter what, every week I'm going to do this freaking newsletter. So I do it. I send it to Jackson, who goes in and puts it on all the different websites, and then we get the email ready to go out, and we do that every single week. Now, I didn't move to podcasts until I had said, no matter what, I'm going to do this newsletter every week. Then I moved to podcasts. Then once I had the podcast down, I moved to short form. Now, once I get short form down and I'm doing 1, 2, 3 a day, I'm going to move to long form. Now I'm doing the videos in YouTube on long form. But I think that, and I can't remember who told me this, I think it was Kaylin Poland, who built Lady Boss to like $700 million or something. She said you have to have those slots because you just won't go do it. Like you've got to have those slots ready to go to where you're like, okay, I'm committing to this. Okay. And that's what we would work on is building y'all's slots based on where you are. It may honestly be that you can only do like 1 piece of content every day or every other day or whatever. But once you commit to that, now we can build you up and do that again. It might be that you can only do like one home buyer workshop a quarter, right? but that's better than nothing. So we commit to that and we do it. Patrick, I'll leave you at the end. By the way, this is our sponsor, Pat. He was supposed to be with us in Mount Juliet. Pat helps me with all of these, and he's amazing. He's got his own insurance business, and he's phenomenal. But Pat, what are you dealing with right now? Like, what's holding you back with all this? And he might not be there. Okay. So this is the last one because it's 1 o'clock, and I promised to have you guys off by 1 o'clock. But Jackson, put that link in the chat again for everybody. Let's do Lisa. And guys, if you want me to stay over, I will. We can go through some actual specific prompts and stuff. We can do that prompt. Does anybody want me to stay over? Let me know in the chat if that's okay. If any of you have extra time, I want to respect that time. But if any of you have extra time and want me to stay over a few minutes, I will. And we'll go a little bit deeper here. Let me know. Okay, there's the link for the group. A bit of time, Andrea. Okay, cool. So we'll stay on for you. Okay, so Andrea, let's move to you since you have time. What's the biggest thing that you're dealing with right now? And Jessica, we'll come to you afterwards. But everybody else, if you got to go, please go. This will be recorded in the school group, by the way, if you want to go back and learn. And remember, I'm going to run it through ChatGPT for you and do all that and hand you a nice little breakdown of everything we went over. Okay, so Andrea, can you open up and tell us what? Okay, just getting started. Okay, new agent. Okay. One thing we would do with you, Andrea, is get you on a video because I'm going to push you out of your comfort zone a little bit, but it's going to change your life. Okay. It's going to completely change your life. And I'll tell you too. And everybody knows this that was ever with me in the Mount Juliet. Hell, Pat knows it because he was with me. Anybody that was ever with me in these Mount Juliet workshops I did, I sucked at this when I first started. Okay. Like y'all remember me hiding behind the damn podium like this and like, okay, guys, today I was reading the freaking PowerPoint, literally reading the PowerPoint. Like I sucked at this, guys. And then what I did was I just kept doing it over and over and over and over again. Okay. And I got better and better at it. So Andrea, same thing for you. We would just put you on video and let you record some stuff. And remember this is really important. Just because you record a video on your phone doesn't mean you have to send it out. You just record the video. And that just gets you the muscle memory of doing the video over and over again. Okay? All right. So who was next? Jessica, open up and tell us what your biggest issue is right now. Jessica, a former teacher too. Are you there, Jessica? Bueller? Okay, no Jessica. All right, let's see. Betty, I'm going to open you up. Can you hear me? Oh, it won't let you, Jessica, it won't let you unmute. Okay, it's going to pop up and ask you to unmute. Just click the button.
Okay.
There you go.
I think the biggest thing for me with being a dual career agent is finding the time to do it all, or doing some or time blocking. For me, I do post a lot, but trying to figure out how to create videos with I definitely know how to use ChatGPT to do my scripts, but trying to figure out if I do like a house tour of, say I have an open house Sunday, and I want to do a video for maybe YouTube, how do I take those, videos where I'm not talking and maybe do voiceovers? So I'm just learning the actual gist of how to use them all together to produce a good post that I can post on different platforms to be more visual, because I don't have enough time in the day to do it all. But if I could do stuff ahead of time, it would be great to just post when I can.
I think one of the classes in the challenge would have to be batching. Okay. It would have to be batching because as we get, and I'm already finding this now. I started off, like I said, I said, okay, I'm going to do the one piece of content a day, right? No matter what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then what I find out is I'm getting so comfortable that I want to do more, but I don't have time, right?
Yeah.
Like for instance, today, I'm on this. I've got two of these, one at 12 and one at 4. I don't really have time to do anything today. But if I would have batched it all, right, on Saturday and I had it all ready to go and I fired it off or my team fired it off, it would have saved me so much time. So I think that we've got to do a whole class on batching,
Okay.
right? Like writing the
Yeah.
scripts in a batch is a batch, recording is a batch, and I'm talking about rough raw record, right? Rough raw record is a batch. And
Right.
then editing is really kind of a batch too. You really want all the raw, and then you take the raw and you pull it into the editing platform and you just edit them all one right after another. And then, I mean, really posting is a batch too. If you think about it, if you guys
Yeah.
if you guys open up Metricool and you say, okay, I'm going to post all this stuff for the week, that's a batch as well, Like, so I would definitely do an entire uh day on batching for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Would
you
that
so
help?
much.
Yeah, would that
Yes,
help?
it always helps when I talk to you.
Oh, that's so nice. That's so kind. Nicole, Nicole looks like she disappeared. I won't pick on Nicole. Um, let's see who's left. Lisa's still on. I don't think I talked to you, Lisa.
I'm back.
Okay, Nicole, what is the biggest challenge you're working on or having problems with social media and AI and stuff like that?
No, I think it's just feeling like that I showed up late to a really cool party and that I'm like I don't know anybody that's here and I'm trying to meet
Oh,
people. Like that's kind of what it feels like to me. So I think I just
okay.
really need
Okay.
to start at the very beginning with very basic things and just master those tiny little things first
Okay.
and then build on those with
Okay.
small steps.
Okay. And then, yeah, I mean, for me, like it was just committing to one thing, just one thing
Yeah.
first, right?
Yeah, I
Just
like
one
that. I
thing.
like that idea.
I'm going to commit to one thing. And guys, like the newsletter was honestly a pretty big commitment. Jackson knows. I was like, Jackson, we're going to do a newsletter. I remember calling Jackson and saying, Jackson, we're going to do a newsletter every single week forever. Not for a couple weeks, not for a couple months, for the rest of the time that I do this, right? And that's the commit. It's like, and guys, like I can't tell you how much just the damn newsletter has 49% open rates right now. I mean, and look, I'll be completely transparent and honest. All I'm doing is taking the past stuff that I've learned and passing it off to you. So if I go buy a course, I take that course, I distill it down, and I send it out in the newsletter. That's all I'm doing. That's it, right? But it's free. I'm not asking for a damn thing in that newsletter back. It's just giving. So I think that if you could just like pick one thing, say, okay, I'm just going to do this one thing and I'm going to commit to it, right? You would keep doing it over and over again and you get momentum and you're more apt to go do it. And like I said with the video, a lot of us just I honestly I don't like video sometimes. I don't, but this new thing, and you weren't on, but there's a new thing now. Captions is an app. You can record the captions and it will change your eye contact after you're done with the video. That's huge. Huge, huge for us. And it'll be in the replay. I'll put that in the school group. And Nicole, if you're not in the school group, jump in that. There's a lot of stuff in there to help you in the school group, okay? Okay, Lisa, you're next.
Hey,
Hi.
my I guess my biggest thing with starting it is I have fought AI for so long because I get so irritated when I get a sales call or somebody's trying to pitch a product, whatever, and it's AI, they've got AI doing it.
Oh my God, I know. Yeah.
And so I use that, I guess, as a crutch not to do it, but I know I need to get with the program and start using it.
Well, one of the things that I'm going to blend in, guys, and I just wrote a check for $3,000 to Jeremy Miner. I swear to God, I'm like freaking barely closed anything last year, and I'm writing all these checks. My wife thinks I'm batshit crazy, but I wrote a check to Jeremy Miner because he's got new sales techniques, new scripting techniques that aren't really salesy, right? So it's not like, were you in that part when I was talking about Circle? And I said in the relationship part, when somebody calls you, Lisa, and says, "Hey, Lisa, hey, hell, let's just pretend I'm a lender doing it. This will be fun." Okay. Hey, hey, Lisa, this is Keith Geringer with, it's funny, I don't even say my mortgage company ever, so I forget it. Say, "Hey, this is Keith Geringer with Third Street Financial. How are you doing today, Lisa?" Like, what do you instantly feel? Like right now, just be honest.
Panic because you're going to ask,
I'm going to
do you
ask
have
for
a buyer?
freaking business, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. But what if everybody that was calling you didn't necessarily want business? They wanted to help you, right? So I usually open up my conversation with what we talked about earlier, and this is, you can do this with your clients too. Like, "Hey, Lisa, you ever had like, have you ever noticed that like sometimes you'll give a great referral to a loan officer and and they do a great job, right? They kill it, they knock it out of the park, they close it, and then they just never return that favor to you." Well, what we do is we actually invest back in our realtors and help them build their business. So there's kind of an equal relationship. Would that help you? You see the freaking difference between those two calls? Gigantic, right?
Right.
Gigantic. So that's the type of thing that I think we would develop. We would devote a whole day to that, right? A whole day to this relationship idea, and that we can't do the same old-fashioned sales techniques that we do. And I want you to know that that's not AI. That's not AI. When we do that, that's legitimate relationship. I really mean that. I'm not kidding you. Why am I on here? I don't do this like to get paid. I do this to help you guys, right? So when I say I legitimately want to give back, I'm serious. I legitimately want to give back. And I think that our industry is really messed up in the fact, who was it I was talking to the other day? Was it somebody was on here? I think it was Jessica. I can't remember. But I was talking to somebody the other day, and how many of you have loan officers that you give deals to over and over again, and they never give you a damn thing back? Jessica, yeah, they never give you anything back. Is it because they're just greedy? No, they don't have anything. They're getting their business from you. That's why they don't give anything back, right? So the difference is, if you actually start helping realtors grow their business like I do, they naturally want to work with you. And it's going to be the same for you in divorce attorneys. It's going to be the same for you in CPAs, you in financial planners. It's going to be the exact same. You're going to go through the same things. So I think we need a whole day to reprogram ourselves from what our stupid sales managers taught us to do 5 years ago, 10 years ago, right? Does that help at all? Like, does that
Yeah.
help you at all? It's not
Yeah.
AI that we're going to completely go over. We're just going to mix AI to make things better in the challenge. And then we're going to like just make it easier to do. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Who else we got? I think everybody else is off. I think we've gone through everybody. Jimmy, you're the last one. What is holding you back from doing this type of stuff? Jimmy's gone. No worries. Okay. Oh,
I'm
there he
not
is.
gone. I
Okay.
was figuring out how to unmute.
Okay.
My biggest thing with learning this is that I'm so new to the process that I'm learning the process. I'm in the middle of a career change and finding time and trying to find the direction that I want to go with everything is where I'm stuck at.
Yeah.
I work my entire adult life. I've worked 12, 16-hour shifts, usually nights. And I'm burnt out in the career that I'm in and looking to start another career that I have no experience in.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a foundational thing for me is learning how to build that business from scratch, how to start from scratch the most effective way that I can. And with AI, it's just an inexperience. I've never been in a position career wise to where AI was really necessary. I'm a factory mechanic. All the systems are laid out for us, and
Yeah.
we get the knowledge on the job and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's inexperience and having to learn it from the ground up, and that's where I'm at.
Yeah. For you, it's going to be about reps. Okay. It's going
Yeah.
to be about reps. I tell you how I started right after 9/11. Somebody sat me in front of a phone with a stack of people to call, and I sat there and made calls and had no idea what I was doing. No clue. No clue, literally no clue. And people would give me ideas and scripts, but I really learned it on the job, putting the reps in. And I would say probably most everybody else on this call probably did something similar. But you have a huge advantage. You can learn from people like us that have put those reps in to avoid some of the mistakes that we made over the years, right? To make it
Yeah.
a little bit easier for yourself too. So the SOPs inside the group are going to be invaluable for you. Like when I say an SOP, you're not military, are you?
Yes, I'm prior military. We
You
have
know
standard
exactly what an
operating.
SOP
Yeah,
is, then,
yeah,
right? So I got this from my dad, guys. My dad was a Vietnam helicopter pilot, and he used to every time dad and I would do something together, he would do a checklist, no matter what. He was a photographer. He was a wedding photographer, and he had checklists for everything he ever did. And I just kind of evolved these checklists into SOPs or standard operating procedures. And that's just not just a checklist, but it's exactly what to do. Now, those checklists include AI, Jimmy. So it's not just a SOP. So, like, remember back to your military days when you had an SOP, what if that SOP had a position where you were looking it up on AI as well? Right?
yeah.
That's
True.
that's what we're talking about. We're taking the SOPs and we're blending in the prompts or the AI as well. So those SOPs back there are going to be invaluable for you. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if the whole time I didn't know if you guys could see the screen, which is funny. But when you go in here and you go to classroom, by the way, too, guys, like we want you guys to give back. So some of these are locked, but they're only locked because you haven't made comments or given. I want you guys to give as much as I'm trying to give in here. That's the only reason I lock this stuff down. You'll notice nothing costs money. There is something going in here later that costs money, but it has nothing to do with y'all. So secret, advance, cut, and paste right here, when you go in here, and then the SOPs right here, these SOPs, like, okay, here's a good one for you right here. Calling new leads, calling new people, right? And you and I will go over this later. But it's not just calling people, right? It's how you do it. It's the tonality of how you do it. It's researching their information first, right? You can go to searchpeoplefree.com and pull anybody's information about anything you have. It's these little parts of the SOP are really important. And that SOP changes, especially with how fast technology is changing. That SOP changes all the time. Does that make sense? The SOP is
Yeah.
always changing, right? So these SOPs are going to be invaluable for you to use. Just right here, editing a short form piece of content. What's the goal? What's the process? All of it is right here. Okay. So go through those and then, touch base with me if you need help after that. Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool. Okay, guys. I think that's it. I've answered everybody's questions. I would reach out to you if you answered yes to the AI challenge, and I'll let you know when we're going to set that up. I'm so glad you guys thought that was cool. And thank you so much. There's another encore this at 4:00 if you just want to if you're just crazy and want to do that again. There's another one at 4:00. Have a good day, guys. Thank you so much.